All right, everybody, welcome back to another session of Jets Therapy. We are here discussing the upcoming game for Jets Steelers this Sunday at 1 o'clock. We're going to be breaking down keys to victory for you. We're going to keep it short and sweet and see what we need to do in order to get this win. So let's get into it.
Here we go.
All right, Gordon, hit me with your your main tallies of what this Jets team needs to do coming off the loss. We're sitting at 1-2. If you were to tell me that 4 games into the season we're 2-2, I would be very happy.
Then I'd be happy.
What do the Jets need to do to win this game?
You know, we've lost 2, but we've lost 2 in the same old Jets fashion, but we're still sitting 1-2 right now going into the 4th week against, we say it almost every week, a winnable Steelers team. You know what I mean? You think we can get them. They got Mitch Trubisky starting at quarterback. They're without TJ Watt. And guess who's back, baby? Zach is back.
That's
so
right.
We've got Zach coming back into the fold. He had some great rapport with Elijah Moore, who's been quiet the first 3 games. You know what I mean? He had some great rapport with Wilson too. And hopefully we'll keep getting Conklin involved. I think Conklin went off last weekend. You know what I mean? So if there was a bright spot in that loss, it was Conklin. So I think Zach just needs to, not play hero ball. We talked about it last year, not play hero ball, not feel like he's got to get the win on his first one back, but just play his game, get to his receivers, get to his guys, and let's have some fun, man. Let's throw it all over.
Yeah, weather's not supposed to be great either. I mean, it's raining all night there, and it's supposed to rain throughout the morning. I think it's supposed to let up by the time the game comes, but I mean, it's going to be super wet. And Zach, obviously, he's not going to change his style of play, but he needs to be careful on that knee.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be slippery. It's going to be some slop here and there, so he needs to be careful. Are you expecting like any rust out of Zach?
I mean, yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's coming off of any knee injury is serious. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
It's a minor knee injury, or it was just a scope, but like it's still a serious knee injury. So that mental side of things, I don't think we've seen him struggle with mental things before, but who knows? But he's a young quarterback, year 2, missed the first 3 games, but he was slinging it all over off season. So I think we're going to see a little bit of rust. I think we're going to, hopefully we hit with the run early, kind of get a feel for the game, stick to the run. And then, that builds that play action, that builds those big explosive pass plays. So I don't think we're leading the league in pass attempts, but we are up there in pass attempts.
100% leading the league.
So we are leading the league in pass attempts.
Yeah. If things continue as they are, they'll set the record for the NFL record for most pass attempts in a year.
We don't want
obviously that. It has to change. It has to change. We don't want that,
especially with 2 young stars in the making in Michael Carter and Breece Hall. So got the running backs to just feed them the ball and kind of get there. So with that beat up Steelers D-line, I think that's kind of what we want to do. We want to attack the run early, keep it going, and then that'll open up the pass and kind of loosen Zach up a little bit.
I agree. And that's really my first key to victory is just establish the run game.
Yeah.
You cannot have Zach throw the ball 45 to 50 times.
No.
I mean, that would be egregious. You can't have it happen. I mean,
that'd be too much on his first game back.
With what we think we have, we're kind of seeing glimpses of what we have in Michael Carter and Breece Hall. And those 2 dudes should be just distributed the rock early and often.
Yeah.
Have to establish the run game very early versus Steelers team. And make sure that Zach has his safety nets put in place. Because I truly feel that they're going to take away the long ball and they're going to blitz. They're going to do those 2 things. And because we know that Zach has a cannon and he's going to be looking downfield for guys to be open. And if he only has a second and a half or 2 seconds to throw the ball because they're just, blowing guys off the line, we know our offensive line has been shaky up until this point. I think the Steelers are going to try to take advantage of that. And as long as Zach has Michael Carter short and get CJ Uzomah involved,
he's got those outlets. And I think he should be back this game. He was questionable on the injury report.
He had a catch last game. He had like his first catch of the year, which was like a 6-yard catch. But get the tight ends involved, man.
Yeah.
Have them on the line. Have them block. Have them do that, whatever that fake block is that they do, and then they run out for a 2-yard screen. Yeah, and just allow Zach to know that he has a safety net right there. And that if receivers aren't open down the field, at least he doesn't have to scramble and run for his life. He knows he's going to have somebody open just sitting there. So, it's all about making sure that when Zach comes back, he's just not shaken early and rattled.
Exactly.
Because if he starts feeling the pressure early, he starts feeling his offensive line in front of him just blown off the line, then he's going to start feeling that for the rest of the game, and it's just going to rattle him. And then we've seen it before. I mean, Flacco was like that. He hiked the ball, he took 2 steps, and it was like he was expecting a sack.
Yeah.
And he just didn't look comfortable.
O-line's got to play. O-line's got to come to play.
Yeah, they got to step up.
So yeah, I think get the run, feed him early in the run, get it going. Let Zach kind of get into his own in the game. But also, dude, I think again, I want to see a statement from the defense in this game. I think Ulbrich had some lines taken out of context at the beginning of this week. I was a little riled up by it because again, I think I don't like the rotation. I think we let our best players on the field as meant.
I think they're going to change that now too. I think they're recognizing like, okay, maybe we should have Lawson and Quinnen on the field just a little bit more.
Lawson and Quinnen need to be on the field. I don't want to say 100% of the snaps, but they need to be on there 85 plus.
Yeah, 80% of the time they need to be on the field. Yes, you come off every now and then, maybe when it's second down or, they picked up a first down, so you can maybe take them off the field. All third downs, they should always be on the field.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, dude, and you probably know a little bit more than I, but like I know nothing as far as the X's and O's of football and what actually happens in between the trenches. But like you got to think that the defensive line needs to get into like a rhythm as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's an art form to it. And when you make a good play, because last game I saw Lawson have a pressure on Burrow, kind of rattle him a little bit, and then he came off the field immediately. You don't think that maybe you should be building. You should be building on that, exactly. Like that. Yes, exactly. Except for he makes a good play and then he's going to go stay on the sideline and he's just going to. And I almost feel like you're getting like out of the game. You're not getting more tired, but you're like mentally standing on the sideline. You're just kind of like out of it, and then you're set back in again. It's like starting over from scratch. Man.
You beat the guy across from you. You're confident that guy, that offensive lineman gets beat. He's down. You know what I mean? But say a new guy comes in, he's like, all right, that gives that offensive lineman a fresh start. As much as it gives that defensive lineman a break, it gives that offensive lineman a fresh start to beat another guy and then gain that confidence back. It's all momentum and confidence. And, obviously I think, they preach that it works. They see it. They get their guys fresh. And again, Quinnen is playing as good as any other defensive tackle, better than, except for Aaron Donald in the league right now. And he's playing 15% less the snaps.
It's literally like he's literally like 50. I think it was like 54% of the time or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, when you have those two staples, and I understand we have talent on the defensive. Well, we have talent on the defensive line. We haven't seen it yet. You got Jermaine Johnson and you have the guys that are able to get after the quarterback, but it's just not working. Yeah. So when you have the talent and your talent's not showing itself on the field, you have to start looking to the coaching staff. And for me, dude, if the defense gets beat, if Pittsburgh puts up like 27 points, 30 points, something along those lines, I don't know if Ulbrich gets fired, but he's on the hot seat at least.
He's got to be. I mean, again, I think if we lose this game or let me put it this way, if our defense gets beat big this game, and then I would imagine he's on the hot seat. I would imagine he's on the hot seat right now based off the comments and the public. Again, we've talked about this before. You don't want the fans to leech into it too much, but like,
right.
He's got to be feeling a little warm. You know what I mean? And
yeah, for sure.
Honestly, Saleh too, dude. Like he preaches the rotation too, but like you've got to adjust if things aren't working. We're the 32nd ranked defense in the league right now. So we have these players. And again, it comes down, maybe these players just aren't as good as we think they are, but they've shown in college, they've shown last year and things like they've shown glimpses. So you've got to think comes down to coaching, and we got to put
That's the crazy thing is the majority of the guys that are playing bad, one, are veterans, and two, are like proven players.
Yeah.
Thank God for Sauce Gardner and DJ
Reed. Dude, they are killing it.
Dude, if it wasn't for those two guys, a couple of these games would have gotten out of hand, I think.
Yeah.
So thank God we have those two staples on the outside. And we all know that Joyner is just not doing his thing, and Whitehead is not playing up to his ability and the potential that we thought he had. And just like I said, the type of player that he was last year. I mean, he's just not playing that way. So when you have a guy has proven himself, has done well, has looked like a stud safety, and then he comes to a team and he's underperforming, you start to look at the things that are around him.
What else?
Like the coaching staff, and then you start to look at things that hopefully like the environment in the locker room and his camaraderie with his teammates. But I don't think it's any of that. I truly think that Ulbrich is just not calling the right plays, 1, and 2, whatever his scheme is, it's not working.
It's just not working.
And it sounded like in that press conference, which I still think the whole Quinnen Williams thing was blown way out of context.
It was.
I mean, I get it. You don't say that really about a player. You don't go in and say like, hey, he's gasping for air. Hey, that's your best player. And now you're going to call him out and say that he's gasping for air on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And then Quinnen Williams doesn't do his press conference the next day. So you're going to have, there are some issues there. Maybe he just didn't want to listen to the media. But look, you have to be a little bit smarter as a defensive coordinator to know that you don't say, hey, I'm looking at the sidelines and my best player's tired.
You
don't say that. Just keep your mouth shut. And that's something that like Ulbrich and Saleh both do that I don't really like. Look, I love Saleh. I still think that he's our future.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a nice guy, but he talks a lot.
That New York media takes it out of you.
Sometimes you just don't need to say all that, man. Just stick to the basics, stick to what you're trying to do and what you're trying to establish. Don't give us all this outside noise of we're doing this and we're doing that. It's just, dude, maybe sometimes a 2-sentence answer is enough and just cut it off.
Look at Belichick. Belichick doesn't say, I hate that. I just said that. I hate that. Let's not do that. Let's not talk about that. Look at veteran coaches in the league, man. They know how to handle the media and give only the amount of information that they need.
Because nowadays, dude, you just can't give the media anything because they will run with it. And you're going to get more and more frustrated as a player because some players, do they believe it? Do they not believe it? Hopefully the majority of them know, look, this is just the media and they're blowing something out of proportion. But look at Mike McDaniel, all this Tua stuff. And then he made a comment like, yeah, Tua and I watched, I don't know if you saw this.
McGruber.
Yeah, he was like, Tua and I watched McGruber. And then everyone's like, yeah, you probably should. And they just
shouldn't put him in front of a screen after.
Yeah, exactly. Which it's probably true. But McDaniel just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Just say we had a good trip back and, we're looking to get Tua. He's going to take a break and, we'll get him back when he's healthy. That's it. You cannot give the media anything.
Yep.
And especially in New York. So hopefully Saleh's learning that by now. I mean, a whole last season. And guess what? We stink and we still are the same old Jets until that changes. So,
but you know what, Dan?
Yeah, what?
We could be 2-2 after this weekend. And that's pretty good.
Dude, if you're this is not a must-win game. It's not.
I'll be happy.
But if you get to 2-2 and then you go into Miami, which I don't think we win.
Tua-less Miami though. I don't. But again,
that's true.
Bridgewater looked good. So again, coming after some practice, good old Teddy B. We'll see. I don't know. Waddle,
I don't want to give the Steelers their first win without TJ Watt because I just think back to like 2 or 3 years ago when we lost to the Browns when they were like 0 for their last 19 and then Baker came in and he just ran the ball down our throat and we lost to the Browns. It was the first game of the season, I think, with Darnold, like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But anywho, I mean, it's just the Jets just seem to just break statistics for the other teams. Like most passing yards versus the Jets. Most sacks in the game, 7 versus the Jets. Broken 0-19 streak versus the Jets.
That's the
same. Now it's going to be, our only win without TJ Watt was versus the Jets.
That's right.
We have to change the story here. And this is a good game to do it.
And it needs to start this weekend. It really does. Again, 2-2 out of the first 4 games. I'm happy. So go 2-2, coming off a win, going into Miami. That'd be a good feeling. So
I would love it.
Let's see what we got. Hey, we'll see you all next time after this Steelers game. Hopefully we're 2-2. We'll see.
All right. JETS. Let's go.
Jets.
Hi, everybody.
Jets. Let's go.